Welcome back. This is the third lesson recording for IM2, January 4th, 2021. So now I'm going to go through the factoring by grouping, and you can do this alongside of me. Okay, so if you're trying to factor 9x squared minus 30x plus 16, we need to first set up this diamond and then solve it. Okay, so what we put on the top is you multiply the leading coefficient and the constant. So it's 9 times 16 is 144. So I put 144, it's positive. And for the bottom part is going to be the coefficient of the x term, or negative 30. Yes, you can put 144x squared here and negative 30x here. Or if it's easier for you to just deal with the numbers and then deal with the x's when you are rewriting your expression, that it would be fine too. Okay, so now we are looking for two numbers that multiply to 144, but that add to negative 30. What are my numbers? So I'm looking for 144. Okay, it's positive. That means they are either going to be positive, positive, or negative, negative. Since we are looking for numbers that add to negative 30, it has to be negative, negative. Okay, so that means, okay, so we're looking for the sum to be negative 30 or 30 if you're just dealing with the positive version of it. Okay, so this is a big number. That means pull out your calculator and start thinking about, okay, so I know that 144, well, the first number that comes to my mind is 12 times 12 is 144. So, but the sum will be 24. So it's close, but it's not the right number. Okay, so then I'm thinking, okay, what if I go up? You know, so is it divisible by 14? Well, it's even number, so is it divisible by 13? Let's try that. Divide by 13, and it is not a whole number, 11.0769. So it's not a whole number, so it's not divisible by 13. So then divide 144 by 14. And that is also not a whole number. So then it's not divisible by 15, I know, because it's not ending in 5. What about 16? 144 divided by 16. We know that well, we've already done that. 16 times 9 is 144. And that's going to give me 25. Okay? So then what about 18? Okay? I do get 18 and 8. And if I add these two numbers together, I do get 24. Okay? I'm sorry. Oops. I meant 26. Okay, but it's still not 30 that we're looking for. Okay, so then 18, 19, is it divisible by 19? No, it's not divisible by 20, I know. So what about 21? No. What about 22? No. What about 23? No. What about 24? Is 6. Okay, so I get 24 and 6 to be my next number. And when I do add those two numbers, I do get 30. And that's the number we are looking for. And now to get negative 30, we have to have negative 26. and negative 6, so that the sum is going to be negative 30. So I figured out that it's going to be negative 24 and negative 6. Okay, my next step is to rewrite the expression splitting the middle term. So 9x squared minus 30x plus 16 now becomes, so I'm going to rewrite this as 9x squared minus 30x plus 16 now becomes 9x squared minus 24x minus 6x plus 16. Then I need to add the parentheses. The third step is to add parentheses. So I am going to add my parentheses here and here. And you are adding the 2. Okay, so I have put a little bit of space in between so that I can, what you're doing is you're adding these 2. All right, now I am looking for the GCF of the first term. I know that x squared and x, so there has to be an x as a common factor. 9 and 24. What is a common factor when you have 9 and 24? Well, 9 is divisible by 3. 24 is also divisible by 3. Is there any bigger number? No, there isn't. So it's going to be 3x is what's going to come out. And 3x times what is 3x squared? That's going to be 3x here. Because 3x times 3x is going to be 9x squared. And then 3x times what is negative 24x? That's going to be 3 times negative 8 is negative 24x. And then to that, you are adding, now we're going to find the GCF of the second parenthesis, negative 6x plus 16. Well, I know that they're both negative 6 and 16, they're both even numbers. Do we have any bigger number than 2? No, we don't. So that's going to, I'm just taking out 2. 2 times what is negative 6? It has to be 2 times negative 3 has to be negative 6, and to that we still need to multiply x to get negative 6x. 2 times what is 16? 2 times 8, positive 8. Okay, okay, now I want you to look at the two factored out term. 3x minus 8, negative 3x plus 8. Ah, it's very close, but they are opposite in sign. So what if, how can I make these two to be the same, the two expressions inside the parenthesis to be the same? If I change this to negative 2, then that becomes positive 3x, and negative 2 times positive 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times negative 8 is going to be positive 16. So now 3x minus 8, 3x minus 8, that means they both are common to both. So this time I am taking out 3x minus 8 as my common factor. What is being multiplied to 3x minus 8? The first one is 3x, and then the second half is going to be negative 2. Okay, so this is the factored form. 9x squared minus 30x plus 16 is going to be 3x minus 8 multiplied by 3x minus 2. Again, you should use FOIL to just quickly check to see if your factoring is correct. So FOIL says FOIL. So the first, with the first, 3x times 3x is 9x squared. And then outside, 3x and negative 2. 3x times negative 2 is negative 6x. And then inside, negative 8 and positive 3x is 24x. And then finally, negative 8 times negative 2 is going to be positive 16. And if I combine the like terms in the middle, that becomes 9x squared minus 30x plus 16, and which is the expression we started off with. Okay, now you are going to solve these two problems yourself, and when you are done, you're going to enter your answer in the private chat. Again, these are the steps, and this is your chance to make sure that you understand how to do this. So please pause the video and solve them yourself. And here are the answers. Okay, so 6x squared minus 17x plus 5. What do I need to put? Okay, what do I need to put at the top is the 6 times positive 5 is 30 here. And the middle term is negative 17. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to 30 and that add to negative 17. Well, 30 is 6 times 5. If I add those two, I get 11. That's not going to help me. What about 2 and 15? If I have 2 and 15, it's going to add to 17, positive 17. So I don't want that. I want negative 2 and negative 15. So now that I've solved for my diamond, I can split this as 6x squared minus 2x minus 15x plus 5. And then from there, I need to put in my parentheses. So I put my parentheses in the first two terms, and then I need to put in the second two terms. And remember, the operation between these two parentheses that you've just put in is addition. Okay, you are adding a negative 15x plus 5. Then you're looking for the GCF of the first term, 6x squared minus 2x. Definitely x goes there, and 6 and 2, so there is definitely even number. So 2x comes out. 2x times what is 3x squared? 3x. 2x times what is negative 2x? It has to be negative 1. Okay, and to that you are adding, okay, negative 15x plus 5. I do see the 5 as the common factor. And this has to be, okay, so again, I am going to have the same problem. So I am going to make this negative 5. Whoops. I'm going to take out negative 5. So negative 5 times what is negative 15x? It's going to be 3x here. And negative 5 times what is positive 5? That's going to be negative 1. Okay, negative 5 times negative 1 is going to be positive 5. Okay, so then notice that we have two identical common factors, 3x plus 1 here and 3x plus 1 here. Okay, so that comes out. And what is being multiplied to 3x plus minus 1 in the first term? That's 2x. And then the second half of the expression is it's minus 5. So again, this is my factored form. And now I can check my answers by doing the FOIL first. With first, that's going to be 6x squared. Outside, 3x times negative 5. That's going to be negative 15. And the inside is going to be negative 1 times 2x. That's negative 2x. And then finally, the last is negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. And this gives me 6x squared minus 17x plus 5, which is my original solution. For the second solution, I am going to share my worked out solution in the next lesson recording.